There we go. Hooray. Welcome, everyone. We just finished most of turning our yard compost bed. We still have some more work to do tomorrow. But today we're going to be doing something pretty relaxing. So start laying on the mat.
Now I'm going to give us a couple of options here. We're just going to lay down for quite a bit, but
you can take a block. You want to say?
Go for it. That was what I was going to say. A block or a bolster or a rolled up blanket or yoga mat, whatever.
Yeah. So if you wanted to roll up a blanket, you make a pillow for your spine.
This might be easier for some people than a block, even a soft foaming block. This can feel kind of a little weird.
But let's at least show you where to put them. So that's how you go with a roll-up blanket. How about I do this with a block?
If you're using a block, you want to put it right across. If you were a bra wearer, that's where you put it. Right across the bra line.
Oh, that's great. I love it. A really nice heart opener. What do I do with my legs?
All right, so legs. And also with your shoulders, just kind of let them relax down. I know they're kind of draped over the block. So, I don't know, like if you can somehow have them still have this sort of heart opening thing. So maybe take the shoulders down and back a little bit. You might have to adjust the block to get that effect. But just the idea, we don't want to be shrugging the shoulders up and making ourselves have a no neck kind of a look. Now, legs. You got a couple of options. You can just let them lay in traditional Shavasana legs, so they're just about match width distance, and just relaxing out to the side. If you want to have more opening in the hip area, we can come into bound angle sets where we bring the soles of the feet together, make a sort of a diamond shape with our legs. And if you want to do this, but it's too intense in some ways, you can find blocks or some other sort of supports, put them under the knees. And so there we are. So laying back, let's get there. Okay, here we are.
I might give a third option for people who have a lot of low back pain or are dealing with sciatica, and that is to put the feet on either end of the mat, either edge of the mat here, and then just let the knees knock together, and that will help to release the low back as well. This is especially good if you got tight psoas muscles. So all of these are good options. Anywho.
And none of these options, just laying in traditional Shavasana with no supports, no legs like this or anything like that, is also the option. We are going to do a little bit of that after we've done this for a minute, though. So and we'll do it at the end of class, as always. So start to bring your awareness to your breath. If you find yourself breathing shallow, you can do a couple of things. You can take things out. You can straighten the legs. You can take the bolster out from behind your back. Maybe this is making you uptight, making you breathe shallow. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a breath awareness thing. Let's bring our breath down. You can even put your hand on your belly. And breathe deep. Even feel the belly filling up as you're breathing. Make sure you're relaxing your pelvic floor as you take an inhale and just breathe and fill the belly. Deep belly breaths. One thing I like to do is sort of a timing thing where I'll count my inhale, count my exhale, and try to make them happen in about the same ratio. If you're looking to calm down, you can make the exhale ratio slightly longer. So let's bring the hands to the rib cage next. So as we fill into the belly, continue inhaling, we're filling into the rib cage as well. So you should feel your belly expand on an inhale. You should feel the rib cage widen. And one other last place I like to bring awareness to when we're doing this deep breathing is the chest. And so you can bring the hands to the upper chest, Or you can even have this nice sort of hand on the belly, hand on the chest sort of a thing. And again, we just want to feel that filling into those areas. So we're filling into the belly as we breathe in, we're filling in, we're expanding the rib cage, and then we're breathing so deep, or even the upper chest even gives a little lift at the end of the inhale. So I'll stop talking and we'll just concentrate on our breath for the next several breaths. So when you're ready. Not ready yet?
No.
No, okay, well,
It's a restorative.
take your time. I was just gonna say, take the block out
Oh.
and come down to actual Shavasana. So you can feel, and in fact, if you'd like to, you can even straighten out the legs. You don't have to do that though. But the idea is, I want you to now feel your back fully against the floor. And again, feeling that full breath, and even feeling that breath filling into the back of the body as well. You'll feel that expand into the floor as you inhale.
So it's like your body is hitting a reset button when we lay here in Shavasana. Now it's pretty hard to do this practice wrong. There really is no absolute wrong way to do this, but one way to get maximum benefit from it is lift the back of the head ever so slightly, tuck the chin, keeping the neck long. Lift the tail and tuck that ever so slightly. You might need to put the soles of your feet down to do that. Then let the legs get long. And then lift the heart, tuck the shoulder blades. So roll the arms open. Then let the heart come back down again. And then just let the spine kind of plop back into place, resetting itself. Eyes can be open or closed. Stomach will probably be gently rising and falling with your breath. Should we move on to the next one? Are you ready?
Whenever you're ready.
I'm totally ready. This is a restorative practice today, which means that we will be getting into poses and hanging out in them for a while. So find your comfort in these poses. There's no need to push yourself to the edge of your extreme limit, but rather maybe start gentle and then work yourself into something deeper, or just see what happens when you let the body melt into a gentle pose. So from here, I'm going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat, push down on my feet, and lift up my hips, inhaling the belly up for a gentle bridge. Arms are down by my side here. On my next exhale, I'm going to tuck my tail and let my hips roll back down again, working down the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Use this bridge, use the ground really as a means of massaging the spine as you inhale the hips up, back into bridge. And then exhale the hips down, coming back down to the ground. Rolling up, pushing down into the upper back as you lift with the lower back. And then let the upper back push down, vertebra by vertebra on your exhale as your tail comes back down towards the mat. We'll do this just a couple more times. Inhaling the hips up very slowly. exhaling the hips down very slowly. With control, you're probably feeling your quadriceps and your hamstrings and your glutes activating as you inhale, lift those hips. Keeping the knees fairly parallel here. Exhale, let the hips come down. Then on your next inhale, lift the hips and take your block. And it's your choice. You can have it low, so flat like this, right underneath of your sacrum. Or if you have a little more, you can turn it on its side and have it medium. So the block has a little bit, there's a little bit more space, or less space for my sacrum to rest here. Or you can turn it all the way up on the side, and it just, my sacrum just covers the block here, but that is an option too. And as I said before, find your level. If you want to start medium and work to high, or you want to start high and work to low, doesn't matter. It's all about the release here. It's not about the building of strength or the proving of ability, but it's about the loving of the body, your temple. If you're feeling real comfortable here and like you could melt just a little bit more, feel free to lengthen the right leg out towards the right corner of the mat. This is a nice solid stretch for the right leg. And you can keep the right leg like this, lengthening through the spine here. So maintain a slightly tucked tail as you do this. Now if you want, you can bend the right knee again and lengthen out the left leg towards the left part of the mat. Supporting with the bent right knee, lengthening through the tail. And then if you feel comfortable doing this, you can either have both knees bent and just continue resting here, just trying to keep the knees parallel to each other as much as is comfortable. Or you can straighten out both legs, stretching the psoas muscles wide open here, opening up through the front of the hips. The psoas muscle, yowza, we got a vulture outside. So the psoas muscle, or a zombie or something, a zombie vulture. So the psoas muscle connects from the low back, the lumbar spine, low vertebra, down to in front of the thighs and the femurs and everything. It's the muscle that we use for walking, running, bicycling, driving a car, sitting with our legs together, squatting in the garden, digging in the dirt. And it does get very tight from regular use. So listen to your body. If this is too intense to have your legs straight, by all means, bend your knees. But one other option, if you are comfortable here, is to lengthen the right arm out overhead and then lengthen the left arm out overhead. You can even lift a little bit through the belly, keeping the tail tucked as you get this deep psoas stretch. Maybe pointing the toes, splaying the fingers of both hands. Stretching deep. And when you're ready, if you're ready, if your legs are straight, bend one knee, put the sole of the foot on the mat. Bend the other knee, put the other sole of the foot on the mat. If the soles of the feet are on the mat already, you can take the arms down by your side too. If the soles of the feet are on the mat already, lift the hips, remove the block, and roll the spine down and exhale. Take your time. When you get all the way down, let's draw the knees in towards the chest and just rock side to side, massaging that low back that just got so much attention with that psoas release. Take your time. Breathing deeply. And then when you're ready, hugging the knees in towards your chest, let's roll off to one side, press into the hands, and and spin yourself into hands and knees position. Take the time, particularly if you're practicing on a hard surface, to put the blanket down for your knees. Today's class is about comfort. And then when you have that blanket down beneath your knees, make sure the knees are about hips width distance. Palms of the hands are spread out real wide on the mat, right under your shoulders. And from here, take it.
We're gonna get into some cat and cows. So we're gonna, as we inhale, tailbone rises, belly drops, head comes up. As we exhale, start at the tailbone, drop the tailbone, round the spine, drop the heads. Again, yes, everything's slow. Slowly inhaling into cow.
Ooh.
Slowly exhaling into cat. We know all the yoga jokes.
You've heard them before.
And one other thing you can even pay attention to is the shoulders when you're coming into these things. So as you're inhaling into cow, try to pull the chest through, put the shoulders together as if they're trying to touch the shoulders on the back. As we exhale into cat, those shoulders widen and come apart as we arch the back. You can do this while still keeping the shoulders down and not shrugged up. So try to also have that sort of awareness. You isolate that sort of just in the shoulders motion. Now we're going to start to get a circular motion into the spine. And the way that works is the next time you inhale into cow, as you exhale, we're going to round to one side to come into our cat. And then as you inhale again into cow, we'll keep rounding to the other side. So it's like you can imagine your torso's inside of a barrel. And you're trying to rub your body on every corner of the barrel. You can let the head just sort of relax here. Maybe it'll move with the spine if you just let it relax. Then whenever you feel like it, you can switch the direction that you're circling your spine. Big, deep breaths all the way down into the belly, into the pelvic floor. All right, you can come back to a neutral spine, and now we're going to do some openings for the shoulders. So let's do this. We will start with the left hand. Left hand is a support, so you can really spread those fingers very wide on the left hand. Bring all your weight into that hand. We're going to turn to the right. Reach
So we're inhaling.
Yes, inhaling
Right
as
arm
we
up.
open.
Sorry, I just feel like the inhale is so nice to expand open here towards the ceiling. And then on your next exhale, that's when the right hand threads the needle between the left hand and the right shoulder. Sorry, I'll be quiet now. From here, where do we go?
So we can do a couple things. You could just stay here if that's good enough, if you're enjoying that. The other thing you can do is take your top arm, your left hand, and interlace the fingers of your other hand, and then you can inhale and slowly open to the left, straightening that top arm. That'll give you a little bit more twist, a little bit more opening. And then if you want even more still, you can inhale the left arm up to the sky, and then we're going to exhale it down just to the sacrum. And then let's check in with that sacrum, right? Is it popping out to the right? Is it popping out to the left? If it is, try to make sure it's facing directly down to the earth below you. And then if you'd like to, you can even wind that left arm around, maybe find the outer upper right thigh.
Find the seat of comfort. It might not be the deepest expression of this posture.
Yeah, if your seat of comfort is coming way back out to a less twisted version of this, that's totally okay. When you're ready to come out of it, you have a hand wrapped around, we'll inhale it back up toward the sky. Exhale, left hand down, right underneath of the left shoulder, and as we press into the left shoulder to come up, inhale as we twist to the right, raise that right arm back up towards the sky, and then exhale, bring it right back down, back in tabletop position. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We'll spread the fingers really wide on the right hand this time. Lean into that right hand as we inhale, opening the left arm to the sky, and then thread the needle. Exhale, take that left arm across, left shoulder to the earth, left ear comes to the earth. If that's not comfortable, if that's not happening for you, the left ear, the left shoulder thing, you can always have a bolster or a block or pillow or something to sort of help you with that. And then, where? So, if you want to take that right hand and interlace the fingers with the left hand and try straightening that right arm, that'll help you come into a little bit more of a twist. If you want to take the arm around, you can inhale the right arm up to the sky. You can exhale it down to the sacrum again, check in, make sure the hips are facing towards the earth. And then if you like, you can take the right hand around. Maybe it finds the outer upper left thigh. Find your seat of comfort in this posture and wherever you've gotten off on the train. And then just, again, breathe deep all the way down into the belly. Big, deep, calming breaths. When you're ready to come out, if you have your hand wrapped around your thigh, on the next inhale, we can raise that right arm up to the sky. We can exhale the right arm down directly under the right shoulder, and inhale as we press into the right shoulder, coming back up, turning to the left, raise that left arm up towards the sky. Exhale that right back down, tabletop. Where do you want to take us from here?
A few wonderful places. So typically we will do a shoulder opener here. It's up to you if you want to go really deep with that. I think we can all start with just rabbit. So we come down to our forearms And then see how it's easy for me to, have a real sway back with this position. That's something we're trying to avoid here. So if you're like this, lengthen the spine, tucking the tail a little bit, then tuck the chin. Let the crown of the head come towards the ground, in between the elbows. This is rabbit posture. This is about as close to a downward facing dog as we're going to get today. Downward facing rabbit. And then, this is a fun one if you have a bolster. If you don't, you can take another blanket and roll it up like you did before. Place the bolster right in front of you and then come down for your playful puppy posture. At this point, you can really arch the spine, sticking the tail way up. You don't have to keep the spine tucked here. So you might be resting your forehead on the bolster. You might be resting your chin on the bolster. My arms are reaching out in front of me. I'm just going to hang out here for a second. And then I'm going to give my spine a real break. So coming back onto my hands, this is a fun one. And I'm going to do it facing away from you, and Brian's going to do it facing towards you so you can see what my feet are doing. I'm going to hug this bolster. Now, if you have two blankets or two blocks and one blanket, you can use blocks to make a bolster. You would make the two blocks right next to each other like this, and then you put a blanket over it like that, and there's your bolster. If you're using a real bolster like Brian, same thing, and we come and we sit next to this bolster. So I know it's hard to tell with me. Maybe you can see with Brian. Let me put a little more light on him so you can see what he's doing there. There we go. So he's sitting next to the bolster, and we can kind of sit our hips off so that our feet are coming out on the side here. I'll take my socks off so you can see that we're so goth today. We need to start wearing like hot pink yoga clothes or something. So the bolster is against my right hip, and my knees are on top of each other, and my feet are on top of each other like this. I'm going to take my left leg and put my left foot in front of my right. And I'm going to point my feet, and then I'm going to take my right toes and curl them in against the bottom of my left foot, like that. I know it's real hard to see, but that's what they're doing. So, real funny little foot thing, but it's part of fun of this unusual stretch our dear teacher Elizabeth Tunkel taught us. From here, I'm going to turn towards the bolster and put both of my hands on either side. This is a twist. And then, as I push down with my hands, I'm going to lift my right hip and then put it back down closer to my right heel. So I'm lengthening through the low side body here. Then I twist my shoulders to even them up with my mat and come down, resting my body on the bolster. You might even have to lift a little through the right shoulder as you peel down onto the bolster or two blocks of a blanket. From here, arms can come out like elbows straight out from the shoulders and kind of cactus arms. And it's your choice. You can have a very gentle twist where you have your head to the left, or you can have a more dramatic twist and twist your head to the right. And we'll just rest here for a moment, hugging our bolster or blocks and blanket or two folded up blankets folded very tightly. Maybe one blanket rolled up and the other draped on top, or two pillows, one on top of the other. Whatever you got. A really relaxed dog, you could possibly do that against a sleeping dog of a certain size. A sleeping child who's very patient with weight on their body. Just resting here, feeling the belly press into the bolster as you inhale.
And lift away from the bolster as you exhale, as you feel your body sink deeper and deeper. Try not to drool on the bolster. It's okay if you do, it's your bolster. The joys of Zoom yoga, you can drool all over your props. Then, when you're ready, I so hate to take us out of this, but there's so many wonderful things for you today. So let's bring our hands under our shoulders, bending the elbows, keeping them by the body. We'll push back up towards seated. And this transition is great fun because it's very easy and very wonderfully lazy. And lazy is a virtue in this class today. We'll bring the soles of the feet to the mat with the bolster right in our low back here. And let's put our hands on either side of the bolster and just let the knees rock side to side for just a second. If you want to sneak a little heart opener in here, you can bring your booty right up against the bolster and roll back, taking the arms out into a T, and then still let the knees rock side to side, just real gentle. Maybe one flaps further than the other, down. Oh, this is so wonderful. I can't handle it. All right. Hands under the shoulders. We'll push ourselves back up towards seated. And now we turn all the way around. So our left hip is pressing against the bolster. Our knees are on top of each other. Our feet are on top of each other again. This time, the right foot, which is on top, comes down in front of the left. And the left foot flexes into the arch of the right foot. So like that. So I'm pointing my right toe, flexing my left foot. From here, I'll put either hand on each side of the bolster. And I'm going to push down on my hands to lift my left hip and then bring it closer to my left heel here and place it back down again. Then lifting and lengthening through my spine. So it's almost like I'm drawing my left shoulder back and my right shoulder forward. I'm going to peel my way down onto the bolster. Yogi's choice. We'll bring our elbows right outside our shoulders here. So arms are in cactus arms. You can either look to the left, or if you want a deeper twist, you can turn your head. I'm sorry, you can either look to the right, and if you want a deeper twist, you can turn your head to the left. Maybe pushing down just a little bit more with that left hand to lift up a bit, twist a bit more, and then relax down. Breathing deep. When you're ready, we'll push down with both hands, drawing them back under your shoulders. Coming back up towards seated, possibly reluctantly, but I get it. We're gonna get all the way back down on the ground again. You can push the bolster out of the way. I threatened to stand up, but you know.
We should do some twisting and hopping.
All right, you
No.
want to get us up and teach us how to twist and twist and shout?
Sure. So I'm gonna do this very lazily. But we're just gonna stand up.
All right.
Take your time getting there.
Oh.
And when you get there,
It won't be for long.
when you get there, you start to like gently shake. However you like, flap out your arms, bounce from the hips. You can relax
Take your
shoulders.
time.
Yeah, you can kick one foot out,
Lazy bounce today.
shake out the legs, very lazy.
You want to hold on to something and bounce.
If you want to shake out the hips a little bit. We're gonna get into a little bit of hip rolling in a second.
You can take the feet kind of wide and use them as a buttress to support yourself as you lazily shake it all off.
Let's do some gentle twisting too. So you can start to kind of gently shake, gently just kind of twist side to side. Twisting and shaking. If that's too much, if you can't twist and shake at the same time, if it's like rubbing your head and patting your head or whatever.
You probably can though, it's really wonderful.
But if you
I
can't,
do
just
recommend
pick one or the other, shake or twist.
But to see it extra slow, here you go. I'm just twisting my upper body. My lower body is mostly facing forward. Maybe there's a little bit of twisting through the hips, but it's really the upper body that's doing the movement here. So it might just mean moving one arm to the side and then the other, and there isn't even that much movement in the upper body. You can just slap one shoulder and slap the other.
Let's do some big breaths, and you can take deep sighs on the exhale. So just deep belly breath in, exhale. You can even stick your tongue out. We'll do a couple more of those. Let's do a few more. All right, I wasn't going to get into any kind of fancy
Yeah,
twisting
nothing fancy.
other than
nothing
just
fancy.
twisting and breathing deep,
It's quite
taking
casual.
some deep exhales.
It's a casual twist, a casual bounce.
Mhm.
We love us a casual twist, a casual bounce. Eventually, though, the casual twisting and the casual bouncing can come to stillness, and feet can come to about mat's width distance. Hands can come to hips here, and just let's do a casual hip roll. It's Casual Tuesday today. And we're casually rolling our hips from side to side, really exploring the range of motion here. So I'll show from the side. As my hips come back, my hamstrings get lengthened. As they come forward, my psoas muscles get lengthened. And as I come side to side, I can feel the muscles massaging each other as they move past each other, past the bones in my legs. If you can't feel this enough, feel free to take a stance that's wider than your mat and see what it's like to really explore that orbit. This is one, if you did in public, you'd make so many friends. So save it for a rainy day.
Or if you want to make some friends, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't save it. Just use it. Go outside. See who shows up. The capital meets
Capital meets guy.
Oh no, they're always there when you go to funky move. So when you're ready, we'll switch the direction, taking the hip roll the other way. Ooh, Maybe you're hearing some cracking in the low back here. Totally fine. If you want to put one hand on the, well, they call it dantian, the area that's my navel, right below, about 4 inches below the navel. You can just rest a hand there gently. Maybe rest a hand on the low back, kind of on the sacrum area as you do this. And feel as if, man, this is like a music video. Feel as if your hands are actually helping guide the movement here, as if there's a warmth coming off of your hands that just allows this movement to churn. And then when you're ready, we'll just shake it off again. And we get back out on the ground. More stand-up stuff.
I can't think of too much on stand-up stuff. Yeah, rounding stuff.
More shaking, that type of thing. Oh, I have one last stand-up thing. It's a nice, loopy, lazy thing to do that is fun to have a yoga block for, and a wall, or some kind of piece of furniture you can hold on to for balance. Because this is not a balancing posture. So I'm gonna stand. Let's be all left and right about it. So my right hand is on a wall or a piece of furniture or something, a chair, whatever it is. Make sure I don't fall down. My right foot is on a block, and I'm just gonna swing my left foot back and forth. If you want to start with your hand on your hip, just to get the leg movement down pat, great. Bless you. But if you want to be extra loosey-goosey about it, as the leg comes back, the hand comes forward. So like this. So the hand can come back as the leg comes forward. And we'll do this little Amish wooden toy thing. What an obscure reference is that? I used to have this thing, I'd squeeze it, and this little man would jump like these two poles. As an Amish wooden toy, but I feel like this would be something too, where you like pull a string and the leg goes forward and back, and the arm goes forward and back. Oh, memories. So when you're ready, we'll shake that leg and arm off and turn around. Do it on the other side. So this time, left hand comes to your stabilizing object, whether it's a wall or a piece of furniture. Or a very relaxed standing dog or animal of some sort that's quite large. And starting off, right hand to right hip, right leg is swinging, left foot is standing on the block. You could also probably do this on like the first step of a stairwell, maybe. It's quite luxurious. And then that right hand can come forward as the right leg comes back. Right hand comes back as the right leg comes forward. So we're loosening out the hip flexors here as we do this. Really allow it to be loosey-goosey. If you want to go slower than me, go for it. You don't have to go as fast as I do. And then when you're ready, we'll shake that arm, shake that leg, come to your mat, and either have a seat or bring feet about that's what distance, toes are pointing out at a 45-degree angle. We'll inhale, the arms up wide above the head. Exhale, coming down into our squat. We want to do a real restorative forward fold, like staff posture. So the squat, you can't tell from where I am facing you right now because I could be squatting like this, and this is my yoga squat. If that's your yoga squat, it's okay. But we're gonna work towards, so if you're not in yoga squat and you wanna be, feel free to sit on a block if you wanna do this on a block. So instead of working towards here with my yoga squat, I'm actually gonna open up my heart and lengthen my spine. Maybe you don't need a block. There we are. Nice long spine, chin is tucked, inhaling deeply. Exhale completely. And then let's get out of the squat because it's just going to close up those psoas muscles we just opened up. So, sitting back, you can take the time to sit up on a folded blanket if you like, just your tailbone on it. If you have very open hamstrings, then you don't have to sit on the blanket. Instead, I actually recommend you take the blanket, fold it up even more, so it's a little tiny thing, and put it under your knees. That's another option as well, because we aren't trying to hyperextend your knees at all. We don't want to have them pop back. We're keeping it loosey-goosey-goosey. So either way, from here, also, this is great. You'll need a strap. And you want to be the man of the moment?
Oh, shoot. No, I'll get us into this.
Somewhere. I was going to say the man of honor. Is that a thing?
Maid of honor. I'll be the maid of
I'll be
honor.
the man of honor.
So again, if you want to have a nice soft knees here, that's totally cool.
You can also prop under the hips and under the knees. You can put block under the knees if you like.
We're gonna take our feet together and activate it, so it's like as if we're standing on a wall. You're gonna sit up nice and tall, so let's roll those shoulders down on the back. We're trying to bring the shoulders together, nice long spines here. And then we're gonna fold just from the middle of the body, so as we come forward, we're not hunching over our backs trying to make reach past our toes, but we're actually coming forward with a straight spine, and only coming as forward as we can at first with a straight spine. So here we go. We're gonna inhale. Let's inhale, arms up overhead. If you'd like to use a strap, that's great. Relax those shoulders down the back, like we're trying to touch those shoulders together. Nice open chest here, folding just from the middle of the body. Exhale, folding at the belt line. And when you get about as far as you can go, let's take the hands down. And if you have a strap, you can take them around the balls of the feet. If you can fold really good while still keeping the back straight, you don't even need a strap. You just grab your feet, whatever you got.
Or if you're very, very, very flexible and able to fold forward very deeply, feel free to put a block on the bottom of your feet and reach around for that. You'll have to use your imagination because I'm not there yet. Brian can probably show it. There you go.
Not as straight as yet, so.
Well, don't worry though, because we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, maybe in a couple of minutes I'll be there.
Yeah,
Right now, we're just trying to keep that fold right at the midline of the body.
We're getting
Shoulders,
what we can out of this one.
shoulders down and back. Again, make sure those knees are not locking.
But as you find yourself slipping deeper and deeper into this restorative practice, if the knees want to start straightening out and the hands want to come right next to your calves and the spine wants to round a little bit as you fold forward, feel free to take it to that looser, heavier, softer, and more relaxed dimension.
And then maybe you really can grab your block on the
Just try to keep your shoulders down. We'll aim for that. I think that's a worthy goal. Yes. Shoulders down, tail is reaching back, and we're just kind of slumping more and more towards our knees, towards our calves. This is gonna feel really good what we're gonna do next. Do you have anything else you want to teach today?
I can't think of what's next.
I've got one last thing,
Okay.
and then shall
We got, let's see, 10 minutes. So perfect.
We got this. We got this. An hour of restorative deliciousness. Make it delicious. If it is not delicious, do what you can to make it delicious. Nothing too rigid. And then when you're ready, slowly come out of it. Walking your hands back up, again behind you, bending one knee, then the other. And gently let the hips rock side to side. I've got two things actually. So if you have a blanket under your booty, you can take it out. And we're just gonna roll that onto our backs. A favorite place today. We'll have our knees bent, soles of the feet flat on the earth. Lift the hips just a little bit. take the arms out into a T as the hips are still up here. So a little bit, this is our core exercise today. And then take your hips all the way over to the left. They might, all the way might be like 2 inches. So bump your hips to the left about 2 inches. Draw your knees up into the chest. If you know where I'm going and you are a twister extraordinaire and you want to take the left leg over the right and maybe the left foot behind the right ankle, go for it. Otherwise, knees are up by the chest, and then we let them both fall off to the right. And this is where a blanket, a block, or a bolster might come in handy. Placing the block or the blanket or bolster, or whatever you've got, under the outside of your right knee. And then lifting through your left shoulder will bring your right shoulder will bring our left shoulder down. So that area in between the shoulder blades is resting as flat on the mat as possible. We'll look over the left shoulder for a spinal twist. And if you want to milk it just a little more, you can bend that right elbow, bringing the right hand up. We're going to take the right palm and wrap it around the outside of the left knee, drawing that left knee in just a little bit, using that torque for extra twist. So the left hip comes more up and to the right, but the right lungs, the right ribs, the left ribs are coming to meet each other on the mat. We will teach the other side. You want to do the other side?
Oh, sure. So when you're ready, you can start to unwind. You can bring the knees back to center. If you have your legs crossed, you can uncross them. Let's put our hip or our sacrum in the middle. And then, how do we do this again? You press up, do our little core exercise.
Yes,
So we're gonna
lift up
just an inch.
just a little bit.
And we're gonna bump our hips over to the right.
Maybe 3 inches.
Put them down. And we'll take the knees into the chest. And if you want to wrap those legs around each other, wrap the foot around behind the calf, you can, but you don't have to.
So this time it will be the right leg crossing over the left.
Yes. And then we're going to let the knees fall. As we exhale, you can let the knees fall over to the left. The head can turn to the right.
And if you want a little extra pull here, you can bend that left elbow and take the left palm to the outside of the right knee.
Breathe into the body. Feel it. You feel it stretch all down the right side. Try to keep both shoulders down. So that means the knees pop up a little bit. That's okay.
Another divine posture. Come to an end. Just kidding. When you're ready, we'll come back onto our hips, lifting the knees. And it's your choice here. If you want to go right into Shavasana, you can. Taking one leg out to one corner of the mat, the other leg out to the other corner, palms facing up. Same thing as before, chin tucks, tail tucks, shoulders lift and tuck. Spine is nice and long and then finds its place. The other option, and we'll be in this for a long time. This class will definitely be more than 1 hour, but not that much. The other option is legs up the wall. And if you're doing legs up the wall, don't worry, there's enough time to do legs up the wall and Shavasana. So one way that I like to do legs up the wall, and maybe Brian will show it on the side today for comfort, ultimate maximal comfort is I'm gonna put my folded up blanket against the wall like this. Then I'm gonna come and sit next to it. Golly, bolsters, and this yoga class makes me so aggro. I'm gonna come up and sit right next to it, and then on it, here we are. I'm kind of right off center here, so I've got some room for my hips here. My right hip is kind of in the sort of corner here, or I'm sorry, my left hip. Then I'm gonna come down onto my back, and then sort of twist my way up like this. Maybe pushing into the wall, lifting a bit, and then drawing the hips towards the wall. This is where if you're practicing on a blanket on the wood floor, it's a little bit easier because you can slide into place. But here we are, legs up. If you don't feel like you're close enough, you can take your legs down to the side, bring your tailbone all the way up to the wall, and then lift the legs up again. There you are. And arms can be out in Shavasana arms. They could be over your head if you want a little extra shoulder opening. They could be hands folded, fingers clasped, resting on the belly, or even the dantian, that area that's right sort of below the navel. That's a term from Qigong.
And also, if you like to do the one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one too.
That's good. It's always nice to get that visual as we breathe, because again, we're still doing the same breathing now that we were doing at the beginning of the class, hopefully maybe deeper. And so filling the belly, filling the ribs, filling the upper chest.
And last but not least, at some point you can come out of this and get into Shavasana whenever you like. We'll guide you through it if you don't. If you're wearing glasses, feel free to take them off and put them somewhere to the side where you know you will not roll on them or crush them. If you need a blanket or socks or anything to keep the body warm here, take it. And just be present with your body as you let it rest, whether you're resting in Shavasana or legs up the wall for now. And if your legs are up the wall, you can either leave them here for the rest of our rest period, or you can roll off to your right side, come back to the mat, and find your most comfortable Shavasana. Tucking the tail, tucking the chin, lifting through the heart, tucking the shoulders, resting the shoulders back down. Softening the face, softening the heart, the hips, the legs, the arms, the torso, the head, and the mind.
You can start to bring your awareness back to your body. You can deepen your breath. You can start to move the fingers and toes. You can roll the wrists and ankles. Turn the head side to side, looking to the left, looking to the right. So feel free to get really long on the mat. Bring the feet together, press out through the heels. You can take the hands, interlace the fingers, turn the palms away from the crown of your head. Inhale as you press out through the heels, press out through the palms, and stretch long on the mat. And then we'll take the knees into the chest one more time. You can hug them in, rock a little side to side if you like to. We're going to slowly roll over to the side. Pick a side, doesn't matter. Just be there for a few moments, laying in a fetal position. And then when you're ready, you can slowly take your time to come up, find a seated, comfortable seated position.
That might mean taking the time to sit up on your folded up blanket or bolster.
So we'll take a few rounds of prana mudra here. So we'll take our arms out to the side, palms face up. Inhale, reaching up, maybe even leaning forward if you'd like. Exhale, pressing down. Maybe you round the spine as you do that. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, pressing down. One more time, we'll inhale, reach up. Let the palms touch overhead, and then we'll exhale, palms come down to heart center. And if you'd like to join us in an Om, feel free. We'll take a deep inhale. Thank you for practicing with us today. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you much. Take it easy. Are we gonna do one next week? It's our anniversary, and I'll be recovering from a COVID shot, so there's a chance there might not be practice next week, but
We'll keep you informed if you're on the list. We'll let you know on the email list, and if you're watching this on the
YouTube,
Facebook, YouTube, you
watch
see-
one of the
you don't
old
see it till
ones.
later anyway, yeah. And if you're on Facebook,
Possibly.
we'll let you know there too whether or not we'll be doing this next week.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.